What's up, everybody? Zach here with the Nerd Cave, and I'm joined along with the bearded sultan himself,
Derek Daniel.
Derek. Glad to have you here, guys. We're gonna have an awesome night. Welcome Amy, welcome Marilyn, welcome Yugi. Everybody show some love to Yugi. Met
Yugimoto?
Yugi, not Yugimoto. Yugi, I met him over on Bo Knows Gaming, which we've had Bo as a guest on for our Spider-Man review. We did a podcast on Tuesday, and awesome guys. So Yugi, welcome to the channel. Thank you for being here. How is your day? How is everybody's day? Let me know down in the comments below. Now, Derek.
Yeah.
The man Daniel.
Yeah.
Do you like that? That sounds pretty good, doesn't it? Derek, the
yeah,
man
it does,
Daniel.
especially with the pause, you know.
Yeah. You're welcome. You can send the Venmo later.
Okay, got you.
Now, Derek, we have an awesome show. We have to talk about some unfortunate news, which of course is layoffs, as we constantly have to talk about. Like
it's a weekly thing at this point, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it stinks because it's like we've got one of the best years in gaming since 2011. I tout
for sure.
2011 is like still the pinnacle in my opinion. Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because I was also still in college, so I got to actually enjoy every game
when you didn't have much responsibility.
Yeah, 100%. But you know, it's one of those things that mars the good things that are going on. But we'll talk about all of that. Derek, I have to know. Have you platinumed Spider-Man yet?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
I've been trying to catch up on anime again, so I'm like taking it now that I've blazed through Spider-Man 2 and finished that, which I don't think we talked about that on the show, maybe, or am I wrong?
No, I think we talked about it last week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. I forget. Last week was a blur.
Last week was a weird show, but you know, whatever. No, we talked. You finished it like 2 weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about it on the last show I was in the studio.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, regardless, you know, I since I went through Spider-Man and beat it, I've been trying to take a break and catch up on some anime now. You know, I did my due diligence. I caught up to you in Spider-Man.
Have you really? You sure about that?
I mean,
sure about
the main story, side quest or another thing.
Are you at 91%? Because that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at.
I'm in the 90s. I'm in the 90s. That's for sure.
Okay. All I've got left is the blinds and the bases. So all the other stuff
those aren't
is done.
bad. The bases aren't bad once you do the blinds.
Yeah. So that's where I'm at on those. That's the only thing I have left. How's the flying? How's the unidentified target going for you, Derek?
Oh Lord, I've got two of them. So I've got two of them at least. But you know, there's still what, 6 more? I think there's 8 of them.
Is there 8? Okay, I know there's one. No, the flame is 4. That's right. Yeah. That was an interesting end to that side quest. Yeah, I was like, okay, I see you setting things up over here. I see you setting things up.
Yup. I just wish they said the name, but you know, I was just like, I wish they would have officially said the name earlier, and I would, you know, but they had to set some breadcrumbs.
Yeah, but I'm excited for where it's going to go. In the future, you know, I'm excited for that. So
there's so many possibilities.
Now, shout out to Yugi. He's doing the Lord's work over on his channel. Okay, he's put a ton of Spider-Man content out there, and he's playing through on Spectacular. I'm playing on Spectacular because he inspired me through my second playthrough on the game and everything. But y'all should go show him some love. I'm putting his channel in the chat. But yeah, tons of awesome shorts. Some of them are really, really funny. So highly suggest those. But Derek, the next question is, when are you starting Alan Wake 2? That's the real question.
Oh, that is the real question because I'm still stuck on the bulldozer fight in Alan Wake 1. So, yeah, I
You haven't
know.
finished that.
No, cuz Spider-Man 2 dropped right when I was going to pick it back up. So I'm just like, "No, I got to play this, bro."
you know, that's okay, Derek. I'll give you a pass this time.
I know. I know. Only this time.
For about 10 minutes. So you got about 10 minutes. Beat Alan Wake 2. Do the show at the same time. It'll all work out.
I'll just clone myself real quick.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you could send the clone. It'll be like twice. You can just send the clone to work for you.
Yeah.
And then
true.
the clone will eventually get angry at you and murder you. Or try to murder
Spoilers.
you. Yeah, spoilers. Sorry, spoilers. That's been like several seasons ago at this point.
I know.
So now,
man.
Derek, have you seen the Yu Yu Hakusho trailer?
Yes, I did. And it was definitely a different take. Like they made it seem a lot more darker. But I would, I don't want to seem overhyped about it because, was skeptical about One Piece, but then all the reviews came out and it worked. I haven't watched it yet. But it worked. And I am, I'm cautiously optimistic about about the Yu Yu Hakusho adaptation because it looks good, but I feel like, I don't know. I feel like they're going to go too serious with this because Yu Yu Hakusho, while it was serious, it did deal with serious themes.
Yeah,
it was also had its comedy at its core too. So I hope it has that. I was actually impressed that they showed Toguro in the trailer.
Yeah. It definitely has. It feels more like Rurouni Kenshin's adaptation than One Piece, because One Piece, of course, is like in English and has non-Japanese actors in there. This feels more like they're going that route, which is totally fine.
Yeah.
I am curious how it goes, if it will stay more than just one season. And
I wonder how much it's going to cover, because yes, while the first season didn't really, like, the highlight of season 1 was the end where it introduced the Toguro brothers. That's about it. Like, other than that, it was just introducing the core 4 plus Genkai, which I don't know. Like, I don't know if they'll go into the Dark Tournament, because if you watch the trailer, like, the Toguro teammates that they have in the Dark Tournament do get shown in the trailer. So it's like, how far are you going to bleed into just like the Dark Tournament? Are you going to make your own adaptation? Or are you just going to be like, hey, here's you as a spirit detective, and then like your first major case is going to go into the Dark Tournament?
I hope that we do. Like, I want them to set up for a proper Dark Tournament, because that is the best part of the entire show.
Oh yeah,
100%. Like, the best part. Like, yeah, they showed the Toguro brothers and everything, and I was like, it's been a while since I watched Yu Yu Hakusho. Yeah. I'm like, I don't remember them fighting.
The only character model I wasn't right, and I mean, the only character model I didn't really care for was Kuwabara.
Yeah. So only time will tell. Maybe we'll get Frieza's voice in there. Frieza's voice in there.
Oh yeah, well, Genkai.
Yeah.
I'm old Yusuke.
I'm old Yusuke. And it's like, I don't want to like spoil anything. Like that whole like revelation, like with Genkai and all, like,
yeah, that was definitely. I mean, that's what made the Dark Tournament so good.
So good, so compelling.
Though I do have to say, the season after that, very good runner-up. You know what I mean? Like, the villain was definitely like way like Toguro was intimidating, but this guy was just like from mentally was like a whole other guy.
Is that where like the weird season though? Like where
that's
like
Sensui.
Okay, it's been a while, bro. So
that's like the former. No, the last season where they go to the Demon Realm was the weird one.
Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of.
Sensui's the guy that was the former spirit detective.
I'm trying to remember. I guess it would have been season 4, right?
Yeah, season 3. Season 4 was the Demon Realm. Season 3 was Sensui.
Okay. I don't remember this dude.
Well, and it wasn't a fever dream because I confirmed it when I watched Yu Yu Hakusho on Funimation. Toonami only aired up to the Dark Tournament. After the Dark Tournament was over, they didn't show the last few seasons. So I'm just like, what is this extra stuff? And I watched them like, holy cow, and season 3 is actually good. But then there's season 4. I'm like, okay, it has its highlights, but I don't.
Okay, yeah, I remember him now. I had to look up, like you're saying the name. I'm like, like, Orochimaru?
Right. No, Orochimaru.
Yeah, Orochimaru. Yeah, that one too.
Fun fact. The guy who voiced Sensui is also the voice of Stain from My Hero.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Oh. Okay.
So
I dig it. Now, I've not been on the anime train for a while.
I know you're taking your break. It's okay. Like, are you just waiting for the whole season of Spy Family 2 to drop or no?
I don't like. I feel like because let's see how many we got.
I feel like it's got to be halfway through the season at this point.
Yeah.
Dubbed wise, anyway.
Yeah. Excuse me. I do need to watch, Rurouni Kenshin. Like.
Oh yeah, the news. Yeah.
I think they've finished it. Let's see. I'm pulling up Crunchyroll. That's giving me the news. I don't care anything about the news. Because they started putting out episodes. I just don't know if.
Because I know a couple weeks ago it was only at episode 2, I think.
Okay, that's season 1. I was like, that's a lot of episodes already dubbed. Yeah, they've got 4 episodes dubbed so far, and there are 6 episodes out. So.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely want to jump into it, but I want to
do it when you feel like you need to.
Yeah. So Crunchyroll is an anime like Netflix essentially.
Yeah.
So you can watch like all the anime and all that kind of stuff on Crunchyroll. So, but yeah, I kind of want to just when I can.
Yeah.
Watch.
You don't want to force it.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's when I can,
All right.
When I can. But I've been getting the itch for some Dragon Ball Z, man. After watching DBZ Abridged, I finished Abridged.
Yeah.
So I
know they've got Daima coming out, which is its own different thing. But I just wish they would continue the Super manga. You know, I mean, like just start animating the next thing of Super.
Like I feel like they are
getting close.
I don't know. It's like, are they doing this instead of doing more Super? You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
I feel like they're going to do what the initial season of Super, where you had like 5 arcs that were animated. So I feel like because apparently the manga release is like a chapter a month, which is ridiculous. So I know they've got enough for like 2, maybe 3 arcs. So I don't know if they're waiting to do waiting for a bunch, like more to like almost that's at the end before they start animating it again and like bringing it back. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I know like sort of what happens, so I'm just kind of like I know Moro and Granola,
right,
and
Black Frieza,
which I'm really stoked about.
Yeah.
So I don't know, bro. I'm just kind of.
We'll see.
We'll see. They better do it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. I mean, they will. It's just a matter of when. Because I mean, how long of a gap from the end of Z to Super did we have to wait? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. What's up, Nate? How's it going? How is it going? Yeah, I'm just like ready for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I need to watch the movies because I haven't watched
the abridged movies.
Yeah. No, I've watched a good bit of the bridge movies and everything.
Oh.
I'm talking about like Broly. I haven't watched the new Broly movie
yeah, that one's actually pretty good.
Superhero. I haven't watched either one of those.
Got you.
So I'm kind of like.
Have you watched any of the My Hero Academia movies?
I am not actually.
Yeah, I forget if there's 3 or 4. I watched 2 of them. The second one, I believe, real emotional at the end. Like it gets emotional. But I haven't watched the latest movie that they came out with it was like at the end of season 5 that ties in to the movie. So I haven't watched that one. I kind of want to, just because I know the aesthetic looks cool.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I definitely want to, but I haven't yet. Yeah, so that's where I'm at on that. I can't wait for like more My Hero, but I feel like it's like next year we're getting the next season, right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, they could just shadow drop it tomorrow. I'd be happy.
Right, but I doubt it. They want to get that time in.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, like it's coming next year. What else do you watch that's coming? I feel like there's something else that comes next year too that you watch that you got excited for.
Demon Slayer?
Yes, I'll say Demon Slayer next season is next year for anime, because Blue Exorcist is coming back with a new season. Black Butler's coming back with a new season. There's another show coming back as well. It's just like next year is just going to be anime palooza. Like it's going to be me. Most of my anime watch, like I feel like I'm not going to watch a lot of new anime. I'm just going to be rewatching to catch up to when the new season drops. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I 100% like. I don't know. Like I'm in this weird place where it's like I'm reading so much. Like me and Amy are spending more time reading, which has been awesome.
Right.
I don't know. It just hadn't really like been in the anime mood. Like Team 4-Star like was like a breath of fresh air, because I was like, okay, I can watch something that I know the story, but I don't know the jokes.
Right.
So,
and now you do.
Now I do. Full of my plans. Thwart my plans.
Are you?
Nate says, going well. Child has us exhausted. Had his Santa pictures tonight, though, so that was fun. Well, that's awesome. First Santa Claus pictures. That's always good. That's exciting. Brandon had his, Jessica had their kid, not Brandon. Brandon didn't have a kid. He has a kid, but he didn't have it. That would say a lot of other things. If he had the kid, but yeah, they had their little baby girl. She's healthy, thankfully.
Good.
Had it early, but there you go. Woot woot. GG's, bro. Nate says, haven't watched the new Broly either. Yeah, I haven't watched Broly or Superhero yet, so
I haven't watched Superhero either, now that I think about it.
Definitely want to check those out. Maybe we do. I know we said it on One Piece. Like we need to we
need to sit down and actually talk about.
Yeah, like life, y'all. It's been stealing joy. Y'all could have so much good content if we didn't have to work.
I know. Like how dare we have to work to pay bills?
Yeah, I know. Okay, be about a week. That's not bad. That's not a bad turnaround to get the pictures. Want to watch me drink this guy? That was like one of the weirdest moments in like the regular series, but then like in that
was Cell, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, what?
I love that Cell absolutely hates Tien Shinhan. Like, I love that he was like, Tien, but he loves Yamcha. Like, he's like, don't let them do that to you, Yamcha. Oh, I absolutely love it.
I just like how Perfect Cell was like, hey.
Oh, man. Goku, he's got a perfect jawline.
Oh, Lord.
Keep go. Like he just like keeps. Good stuff. Good stuff. One last thing before we get into the news, because we got a good chunk to talk about tonight.
Yeah.
If y'all are into like the Amazing Race, if y'all are into like some challenge videos, not full blown Mr. Beast, but it's done really well. Y'all should check out this series called Jet Lag. It is really, really good. So the premise is the ones that I've watched, they play a game of tag across Europe. And each one of the guys, like they start in a central location and it's equal distance to each person's home base. If they reach home base, they're safe and they win. But they have to make it there while they're being chased across Europe, and they have to do like challenges to be able to afford to like take trains or modes of transportation and everything. I showed Amy that last night. We started season 2. I watched season 1 and I haven't finished it yet, but I was like, okay, I'll watch season 2. It doesn't really give anything away for season 1 because it's not building on a story. And we watched all of season 2, which is 7 episodes. They're like 20 minutes each. And then we started one there in Japan playing Capture the Flag. Really, really well done. It's funny. It's suspenseful. It's got a lot of good stuff in there. Amy said it's a really good show because we're not like a reality kind of TV kind of stuff. And it's not cheesy. It's like 3 friends going across Europe and doing shenanigans. And so like 2 of them are like strategic planners. And then this dude named Ben, he is chaotic neutral. Like he's a good guy, but like he's like the bumbling buffoon of the group. But he like
me. He'd be me.
Well, I don't know. I feel like you're more of a planner than Ben, because Ben, like, he'll start his run and he's like, all right, I've got to go somewhere. And like he just starts going. And like they're like, what are they doing? What are things going on? Happy belated birthday to Derek.
Oh, thank you.
Did I miss your birthday?
Maybe.
Did I?
The look you had was like when you had that realization.
Oh my God, I am a horrible friend.
No, you're not. Stop it.
I am a horrible friend.
Dun dun dun. It's okay. I still love you.
Maybe I'll let you get the platinum on Spider-Man before me then. Well, happy birthday, bro. I thought.
Thank you.
I'm never going to freaking live this down now. Never going to live this down.
Now, see, if I really wanted to, I would have brought it up first thing on the show. Don't beat yourself up. It ain't that deep, bro.
It was yesterday. How did I miss this?
I don't know.
Well, I'm hard. I have no excuses. Happy birthday.
He's not going to get sleep tonight over this, apparently, guys.
Well, dude, you're my best friend.
I know.
Sorry, I can't do that.
Send him a Five Guys gift card.
I can't do that. I can't do that. I gotta hold that one at least over his head. Okay. Well, there you go. There you go. Look,
you can make it up. You know, you can make it up to me by watching not the live action, the animated One Piece. You can start that journey.
I think I'd rather be in the doghouse. All right, we're doing this right now. Okay, hold on. I'm putting this on my calendar so I don't forget it.
Make sure you put the 15th.
Yeah. Let's see. I don't. Okay.
I do agree with Nate, though.
Yeah. Like, I'm over here, like, I'm like, yeah, my birthday is this day. You're like, just mum's the word. And I'm like, yeah, my birthday. You brought me a birthday present on my birthday? All right. Calendar. Okay, apparently I deleted. I got my work calendar right now. Love, will you yeah, he was fuming in silence. He was like, "Zach didn't wish me happy birthday." Like I could feel it. I could feel it. Like I read that message from Amy. I'm like, "You've got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me." And you didn't.
A revelation. He's like, "Nani?"
Yeah, that's how I felt. All right.
It was like Jordan Peele profusely sweating. Oh no.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Say psych. Say psych right now. Say it's tomorrow.
Will you remind me, or will you put it on a calendar so I know? Because you're not the only one I've missed. I'm gonna just be honest. Because I'm like, the only way I know is from Facebook, and I literally have a thing on my phone where it prevents me from opening Facebook.
Oh, fair.
So like, I'm bad about remembering dates. So I gonna put it on the calendar, Derek, and I promise you, from now on until you and I go meet the Lord in the sky, I am going to bug the snot out of you. I'm gonna send you a box of locusts. I'm gonna remember your birthday. Don't. Well, this is how I'm gonna remember. I gotta send a box of locusts to Derek.
Thanks, I guess.
Oh, well, I'm glad that was caught on camera, glad that was caught on camera.
Probably, if we make a montage of the year, that should definitely be in it.
Yeah, if we made a montage of the year, that'd be great. But Zach ain't editing, and Carter's in college now, so I don't know who's gonna edit it. But hey, if you want to edit somebody, y'all step up to the plate.
Right.
We'll let you edit it. What I would love to have is literally just like a compilation of like every name that I've given you. Not like the exposition, just like
just like the end point, like the sticking point.
Yeah, it's like joined by, and then it's just name after name after name after name. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Just saying.
And at the end, you would edit in and the best name, John Stevenson.
John Stevenson, followed up by Princess whatever, I don't remember.
Delphina Warrior Princess.
Delphina Warrior. I almost said Princess Mononoke, but that's Studio Ghibli.
Yeah.
All right, Derek. So I can get out of this shame and we can get the show rolling. Let's move into the show.
Okay.
All right, guys, how this is going to work, we're going to reintroduce ourselves. We're going to jump into the show. How it works is we introduce everything. I give Derek a name. We do this each and every week. If you want to give Derek a name, there is a form link down in the description. So check that out. Submit your name. If it's appropriate and I think it's great, it might be in the list. And then we're going to jump into the gaming discussion. We're going to break down all the things that have happened this week that are big, and then we will list out all the things that didn't make the cut. So you're going to get everything that's happened this week so far, and it's going to be phantasmical.
Phantasmagorical?
That too. All of the fantasies. Fantasy Island. Did you ever watch Fantasy Island, Derek? It's like a show from the 60s. It had he kind of looks like Christopher Lee, but it's not Christopher Lee. He's like he's a Spanish version of Christopher Lee. He's like the main guy.
Did he have like a little butler guy?
Yes.
And then
we're like, the plane.
Yes, yeah. I do remember. It's been so long since I've seen it, but I do remember watching a few episodes when I was younger.
Okay. See, I'm Derek. Every week I bring you through a history lesson before we get started. So that was your history lesson, and guess what? You passed with flying colors.
Mm-hmm.
So let's do this starting in 3, 2.
I'll also pass the birthday test.
You gonna do that? You gonna do that?
I have to get my jabs in. It's not often I catch you lacking, but when I do, I have to make a count.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get into it.
Starting in 3, 2, 1. This week in gaming, more developers lay off their employees because they suck. Steam Decks gets an upgrade, and the Game Awards reveal their nominees. This is the NerdCave News, and I am one of your hosts, Zach Dykes, the man that forgets his friends' birthdays. Joined along by there once lived an artist with a magical secret, so magical. He painted vivid landscapes of magical worlds that came to life. Kind of like that amazing game from PlayStation. Then they closed down that wonderful studio. You could step into his paintings and travel to distant fantasy lands. To plane, with wild magic and creatures that are unimaginable. All who experienced his paintings were sworn to secrecy with binding magic. Though this improbable artist is gone. If you find his paintings and truly believe, clap your hands like Tinkerbell, you could still experience the magic. This great unknown artist is no other than Adrian Gabriel Lefebvre.
Very well done. Very well done, especially on the exposition. It kind of gave me, like we said, Concrete Genie, Bob Ross vibes, like Happy Little Trees.
Happy Little Trees.
So the important question is, where does this rank? Oh, I'm looking at 6 through 10. We've got Saros Althora, the Secret Keeper, holding strong at number 6. Victor Van Housen, the Vaudevillian Vampire.
That's a good one.
Hiroshi McSlice and Dice Takashi. Cocorilius, the Chocolatier. And Zephyr Zahar, the Genie. It is with great sadness that I have to bump down Zephyr Zahar and make this my new number 10.
Okay. Was it the exposition, Derek, that kind of helped land this plane on this one?
It put it over the top, I will say that.
Okay. Amy is saying that she needs to coach me on pronunciations. See, I'm a good old boy, Derek. I was born in the South. I'm not a redneck by any means, but I was born in the South. They didn't teach us to read until I got to college.
Right. You got to Troy, where we read all the time, even in science class. We had the sign book.
So, yeah. Congratulations. Another top 10.
It almost didn't make it, but like you said, the exposition, because it also, I know you haven't watched it. You should give it a shot though. Black Clover. It's a very good. It also has a bunch of magic, and there's one of the Magic Knight captains who uses picture magic, where his paintings come to life, and he uses them as spells.
Sounds like devil magic, Derek.
There's that in there too, but that's
that's neither here nor there. You know what is here, Derek?
The
Epic Game Store.
Yeah.
You can support us, guys, by going over to the Epic Game Store, buying your games there, and it costs you nothing extra. You're getting these games already. You're over there playing on your PC with your drivers. You're doing all that extra work.
TurboTax.
You got your TurboTax on there. You got that. You got the Sims.
Yeah.
3. You got the Sims 3 on there because that was your favorite one. But guys, you can get the new Sims as well. Go over to the Epic Game Store. I don't know if the Sims is on Epic Game Store. That's a disclaimer. Go to the Epic Game Store. Go check out your Fortnites. They got the rewind to the first season. Everybody's enjoying it. Everybody's loving the nostalgia. Just took another one down in Tomato Town. We're about to get down. Get down.
Get a little twisty, and Tilted Towers.
Yeah. So guys, go over to Epic Games Store. Support us by using creator code NerdCave at checkout. We're also brought to you by Coffee Brand Coffee and our wonderful patrons, but more about that later. Tekken and Gaming, welcome to the stream. We hope you're doing well. Confusion. That's about how we are over here.
Right.
We confuse and amaze. Some people are amazed that we get through the show sometimes.
You know?
Well, let's get into the gaming discussion this week. Steam Deck OLED has been announced and it's coming your way hot and fresh.
Right. And it was sort of like just a stealth announcement because they announced this on Friday. So Valve has unveiled its first upgraded iteration of the Steam Deck, dubbed simply the Steam Deck OLED. The new handheld features several technical and form factor improvements, and it goes on sale next week. As after the article post, I guess it would be this week. As the name implies, the device boasts an HDR OLED screen to produce more vibrant colors. It also boasts a large battery for an increased charge of 30 to 50% more battery life depending on the game, with Valve pointing out that the OLED screen consumes less power. The device also includes an updated and more efficient AMD APU and Wi-Fi 6E, resulting in downloads up to 3 times faster for increased bandwidth and lower latency. Steam Deck OLED also runs cooler thanks to the bigger fan and improved thermals. Overall, the device is 5% lighter than the original model. Steam Deck OLED becomes available for purchase on November 16th, that's today, at noon Central Time. It comes in 3 models based on storage and add-ons, including one limited edition variant including a different color scheme. Here's a breakdown of the specs and price of each one. I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty. There's the 512 gig OLED, which will cost you $550, and it will come with a carrying case and Steam profile bundle. Then there's the 1 terabyte OLED that will run you $650, and it will include, with a carrying case with removable liner, profile bundle, exclusive startup movie, and exclusive virtual keyboard theme. And then there's the limited edition 1 terabyte OLED that will cost $680, and it's only available in the US and Canada. And it will also include the aforementioned ones. And I think, what was it? The 1 terabyte ones include was it premium anti-glare etched glass as well. Once it launches, Steam Deck OLED will become the default Steam Deck moving forward, as Valve is phasing out the original LCD models. As such, the first generation Steam Decks have been permanently discounted, $350 for the 64 gig LCD, $400 for the 256 gig, and $450 for the 512 gig. These models will be available until they're out of stock. You can wishlist and read more about the Steam Deck OLED on its official Steam page.
So I love that the exclusive, the one you're paying like $20 more, you get an exclusive startup movie.
Right, exactly.
You're paying $20 for that.
Right, woo,
man. I like that they're bringing up the OLED. OLEDs are great. You want to know who started that trend, Derek? You want to know who pioneered the OLED screen craze for your handheld devices? It was
a device that's no longer with us.
It was no other than the great PlayStation Vita, not the second generation. I'm talking about the Vita. You know what I mean, Derek?
The OG generation.
Yeah, the G1. Just like Optimus Prime G1, way better than any other Optimus Prime. You know what I mean? I got that boxy truck. Oh, that boxy truck. But I'm glad that they're going OLED and that it actually holds a charge longer. IGN did a test and I saw them have them powered on side by side and they had a clock going and it lasted way, way longer. So I love that.
The Vita started handhelds. What about Game Boys?
I'm talking about the OLED screen, my love. Not handhelds, but, if we're going to be honest.
Here he goes.
If we're going to be honest.
Here he goes.
I think it did start the handheld thing. It's like you had all of these predecessors, just like, okay, yeah. The Wright brothers flew a plane for 100 feet. But the Boeing 747, you know what I mean? That you'd rather take that than their plane. You know what I mean? Just saying.
Do not ever disrespect Nintendo like that again.
You know what I'm saying? It's just. That's why the Vita is the best handheld console of all time.
And it's dead. if you're the best, you don't die.
Sorry, Derek. I can't hear you right now.
I'm sure.
I can't hear you right now. I'm walking on thin ice because I know I forgot Derek's birthday yesterday. So I know I can't push this too much further because I can feel him about to say something about his birthday. He was literally.
No, I'm not actually. I got my one jab in.
Leaning into the mic. It was coming, guys. Y'all. He's backing off now. But I'm excited for the new Steam Deck. But we got some more interesting news for the people that like to repair, because sending your controller, your anything off to the manufacturer always sucks. You're never getting the actual thing you sent off back. So Steam Deck OLED is more repair friendly than the launch model.
So DIY repair enthusiasts and gamers alike have reason to celebrate as Valve touts the just announced Steam Deck OLED, which is more repair friendly than the original model. As part of the product reveal, Valve makes note of the Steam Deck OLED's repairability, promising those who buy the model will have fewer steps to follow if they need to make a common repair on the device. While Valve did not go into specifics on what constitutes a common repair to them, a few likely examples include issues with the action button or replacing the thumbsticks. According to Valve, the bumper buttons are now located on the joystick board, making it easier to repair than before and improving bumper shock reliability. Changes to the screws have also been made, with a lower number of screw types, a switch to machine screws on the back of the system to make disabling and reassembling more reliable, and the inclusion of Torx screws to reduce the probability of head stripping when taking the device apart. Yet the biggest improvement to repairability would be the Steam Deck OLED will no longer require you to remove the backplate if you need to replace the screen display. As iFixit's screen replacement guide points out, users will need to open the back of the original Steam Deck and remove things such as the motherboard and the heatsink just to remove the gadget's display properly.
See, that's what we need. We need to be able to fix things, because I'd rather fix something, Derek, my own, if I can, than have to send stuff off. It's a lot cheaper that way. I know Murdoch is a huge proponent of like right to repair and everything. So I'm glad that we're getting that. I think it's awesome. Also, another point, this is totally not gaming related or anything. Yeah. I don't know if this is completely true yet, but it might be. A full-on Taylor Swift cruise is setting sail in 2024.
Interesting.
Guys, you can go to patreon.com. But hey, we might go on a cruise next year. It is true. It is true. I feel sorry for her, though, being trapped on a cruise ship with just rabid fans.
Right.
For like a week.
She's going to have like extra security.
They're going to have beanbag, like the little beanbags that they like shoot out of the riot guns and all of that.
Right.
We're going to have a lot of beanbags. Oh, Derek, you want to say anything about the OLED repair stuff?
It's great, like you said, it's a lot easier for people who are tech savvy that just want to go ahead and fix the problem right then and there, instead of sending it off. And like you said, most of the time you don't get the same unit you sent off back. They pretty much when they pretty much realize like, this is going to take us like a month or so to fix. We don't want them waiting that long, so let's send them another unit that we know is working, and have fun with that. And it, especially if you don't want to wait, especially if you're having going on a trip, and like last minute things suck. You know what I mean? Like some stuff that's out of your control that just happens, like boom, all of a sudden screen doesn't work and you're about to go on a trip. It's like, well, I have nothing else. Let me see if I can repair it.
Yeah.
So conveniency is the key.
Yeah, 100%. I lost my Xbox 360, my original one, to the Red Ring of Death.
Yep.
And I had these dope Mass Effect like skin on it. Like the faceplate I could change, but the skin, it's like you can't take that off.
Nope.
So me being a naive college freshman, I was like, I'll send it and I'll get it back and I'll have all of it. No.
Psych.
They just sent me another one. Yeah.
When I worked at the other place, the place we won't speak about,
yeah.
we couldn't take in consoles if it had themed skins, and if they were easily to peel off, we'd have to peel them off. So, and most of the time they got ruined, and the customer's like, I didn't care, just throw it away. And I'm like, bro, like, I don't know, like I get it, but I also don't get it. It's like, man, I know you can't pay extra for it, but someone would enjoy this.
Yeah, exactly. It's like having a themed Xbox that's like Mass Effect, dude, that was so dope. Like I would, if they would have been one, that's the whole reason why people go crazy for themed Xboxes or themed PlayStation.
Correct.
That's why I've got a Halo theme Xbox Series X or whatever. It's because they're dope looking. And when you can't get something like that, you put stickers or you put, whatever on there, third party stuff. So, yeah. Moving on. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 was reportedly developed in just 16 months. Team blames time constraints for poor response.
The main sticking point since has been the campaign, or lack thereof, according to most, since the campaign can be completed in a matter of hours, and pales in comparison to the bombastic action movie heights of previous entries. Hopefully the multiplayer is able to pick up the slack, but fans are already disappointed. And a new report from Bloomberg reveals the reason for this year's lackluster release comes from a rushed development cycle. While each new Call of Duty game is usually made on a 3-year cycle, according to this report, the team at Sledgehammer only had a year and a half to get Modern Warfare 3 done. This report also further confirms previous rumors that this year's release originally began as a DLC expansion for Modern Warfare 2. Although Activision denies this, claiming it was always planned as a premium release. That's contrary to what some staff were told, according to this new report, as some of Bloomberg's sources said they were under the impression it was an expansion, with some of them even being directly told it was an expansion. The report also claims that team members were made to work weekends and nights to get the game done on time, and, quote, felt betrayed for having to go through that kind of crunch they were promised wouldn't happen again. Man, that's a word we haven't talked about in a while, is crunch. And it's like, man, here it rears its ugly head again. And this is on the heels of, like, of course, it's going to get worse before it gets better. This is like on the heels of Bobby Kotick and, his horrible management style, him just letting people do what they want amongst the studios. And now that Microsoft has bought them, they're going to have to clean up a big mess, like, especially with Activision, because I'm sure when they bought this, like, Bobby Kotick was like, all right, let's squeeze this out before Microsoft comes in. He probably pitched some, when they bought him, he probably pitched some, vitriol about how, Call of Duty is not going to be the same once Microsoft comes in. We got to end this trilogy so that way we can end on a high note, and you fall flat. But let's be honest here. Even if it is as bad review scores as it's getting, as we've seen with previous Call of Duty games that are subpar, they'll still sell well, so it won't matter.
Yeah, as long as like the multiplayer is strong, like a lot of people don't play the campaign. That was literally why they did Black Ops. Was it 3? As just like
4.
4, okay. Was just multiplayer and everything.
Yep.
It stinks, that crunch was an issue. I feel like it could have been like, the people that were supposed, because I think it's happened in the past where somebody was like in the rotation and something was not going right, so they moved up another game.
It was Sledgehammer, actually, because I think Sledgehammer was the next one to, because it was after, because Black Ops 4 was supposed to be a year later than when it was. And because Sledgehammer was having issues making their game, they moved Black Ops 4 up a year, and that's why they had to cut out. I forget what because I remember we talked about it, and I forget some, it was some, stupid reason. I don't think it was the push up, because I think it came out that it was always planned to be a multiplayer only. But that was their whole defense of why it didn't include a campaign. It's like, we were moved up. So we didn't have time to do it. I'm like, you did. You just chose not to.
Yeah. So I hate it for people that are still, playing these games and everything. I'm out of the COD scene now. I like, the last one that I tried to play, the story, what was that one? Cold War. That was the
Cold
last
War,
one
yeah.
that I tried to play.
Yeah, I think that was the first one on the new gen systems.
Yeah. And like some of the things were interesting. There was kind of a mystery behind it and you were putting together clues, but it just felt like more of the same stuff. It didn't have any pizzazz. It wasn't anything different. So it was more of kind of the same that Activision's been putting out for a while. I hope that being under Microsoft, we will get something more innovative. I know that Call of Duty is like the cash cow, but I hope that we can get something that's actually good. And a team creating a game in 16 months is unheard of at something that's on this level. It's not done really.
You hear that about indie games, but not,
well,
AAA.
and you think about Mines of Moria, I want to say they had a weird short period to develop the game. So was that Gollum game, if I'm recalling right. So it's like, it's some weird chicanery, if you will,
right,
in this. So yeah, I hope that going forward, being under Microsoft is going to be a much, much better thing for Activision and all the games that they're going to be producing. But let's move on. 505 Games parent company Digital Bros is laying off 30% of its staff.
Woof. And like we've heard while it's high in numbers depending on the company, the percentage has always been low, but 30% is ridiculous. This is arguably one of the worst ones yet. Digital Bros Group, the parent company to publisher 505 Games, has announced plans to lay off 30% of its staff. It says it is doing so to align with, quote, the new competitive market. 505 Games is the publisher behind games like Ghost Runner 2, Control, Payday 2, the PC version of Death Stranding, and more. It's unclear how much of the team will be affected by Digital Bros' overall plan. Quote, Digital Bros has reviewed its projects to align with the new competitive environment, it writes in a press statement. This is expected to represent a reduction of approximately 30% of the global workforce, but no significant effect of restructuring costs is expected on the annual project results for the fiscal year 2024. The company goes on to say that the video game market has evolved since the pandemic to be more selective with new games, noting that consumers are increasingly reverting to established IP and playing individual games for longer periods. Quote, Digital Bros' strategy has had to adapt to this new and evolving competitive scenario and will focus its efforts moving forward on the release of sequels and new versions of previously successful and established games. With a limited number of new, larger budget productions, a press release reads, while it's unclear how many people at Digital Bros' various arms will be affected, the company does note that the majority of the 30% laid off will be, quote, concentrated within the studios. It sounds like Digital Bros is making the decision to lay off employees right as the holiday season begins, mind you, but keeping itself safe from the job terminations, instead reducing the workforce of the studios under its umbrella. And thinking about this, because they talk about the pandemic, because there was pandemic was a whole trudge through the muck, to get to the other side. And I feel like a lot of these layoffs, now I'm not saying it's justified, mind you, by no means. I feel like a lot of these studios souped up their hiring process to help get out these games that have been dormant, that they had to put on hold for COVID. And now that they've got them out, and it's like, all right, now we can let you go because now we don't need you. We just needed we just need more hands so we don't overwork our current staff and make them do crunch and that become a whole other issue again. But also at the same time, like their whole strategy moving forward is like sequels and established games. It's like, yeah, Payday 2 was rough at launch. It's, it took it a minute before it became playable. And it's ironic that Remedy comes out and says, oh, and like, what was it, last week I think we talked about, and praised 505 Games for letting them make the game they wanted to with Control and and with Alan Wake 2. And it's like, how can you do one thing and then say, all right, now we're gonna take someone from our parent company, we're gonna lay off a bunch of staff. And it's like, that's not how this works. You can't have it both ways.
Yeah, it's strange because pre-crunch culture and everything, game developers would hire a bunch of contract labor and then they would get a game out and then they would let them go.
Right. And it was mostly Q&A testing.
Yeah. and then that became kind of like taboo. So they went to smaller teams, and then crunch became an issue. And then it was like, okay, we're going to hire more people, and now layoffs have become the issue. And it stinks. It sucks. I'm tired of having to talk about this because it's like our platitudes are not going to pay for anyone's, stuff. And it's like, yes, people need to know that these companies suck, that type deal. But it's like, with having one of the best years in gaming.
Correct.
One of the best years since 2011.
Mm-hmm.
It is so marred by all the layoffs. Like
I know. It's the roach in the punch bowl.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, can we call this the best year in gaming? No, we can't. It's just true.
It's the best year for it's one of the best years for gamers. Yeah. But in the best years of gaming overall, like industry included, no, you can't say that because the people who are making these amazing games, like not at those studios that like not at any of the Game Award nominees studios, but like everywhere else that are making amazing games have to suffer this.
Yeah, and let's see real quick. I want to verify the Game Award nominees. Well, PlayStation's closed studios and let people off.
Yeah.
So,
but I'm more talking about like Insomniac,
Yeah. I don't know, dude. It's so annoying, and then being literally right before Christmas and Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah, like it's definitely the worst time of the year because you're like people are just now starting to buy food and plan, and start trying to count how many people they have to feed and get, calculate the food and then start buying presents. And it's like now all of a sudden they have to make sure they have the lights and the water turned on.
Yeah, the necessities. And
yeah,
it's like, okay, well, we can go in debt. We can, buy all of this on credit and everything. And it's like, that's not a healthy thing to do either. And it just sucks. I'm so tired of this. And it's like us as consumers, it's like, there's not a lot that we can do other than vote with our wallet. But even at that point, it's like, we can only do so much with that.
Yeah, because it's a catch-22 because we vote for a wallet and don't buy the games. That means the higher ups are not going to be happy and they're going to probably let go of more people because they can't pay them.
Yeah,
quote unquote.
I don't know. It sucks, and I hate that this is the 2023 will be the year that the devs were laid off.
Yep. Instead of like one of the great years of gaming, it's going to have an asterisk next to it.
Yeah, and it just sucks. So our hearts, our prayers go out to all the developers that are being let off and have been let off, that they will find a place that values them. They, if they want to create a studio and lead a studio themselves, that they will, the people will rise up to do that, and that they will have funding for that kind of thing. And, where they're not having to deal with people in upper management that don't care about them.
Correct.
And that's one of the things I used to love about Bungie. It was like, it was so much like that, where it was, it was like, it was gamers. They were this kind of ragtag team, and they made amazing games. And then look at them now.
Too big for their britches.
Too big for the britches, laying people off. So, one good thing though during this holiday season, Derek. Some quality
amazing
coffee.
Hot cocoa
and cocoa. Yeah, it's kind of slimy to like go into like
I know
an ad read right after all of that.
I know. I did it on purpose.
Yeah, Derek's setting me up to feel like a used car salesman here. Guys, if you want some delicious coffee, if you are a coffee fiend, or if you like tea or hot cocoa, we've got an awesome sponsor called Coffee Brain Coffee. They have quality coffee with no gimmicks and no politics. They have nearly 4,000 verified reviews, and most of those are 5 out of 5s. They got 12 coffee blends, 12 organic teas, 3 hot cocoa flavors. Got the convenience of cold brew and K-Cups if you got one of those Keurigs. It's perfect season. It's getting cooler outside. Hopefully, it'll continue to get cooler. But that marshmallow hot cocoa looks delicious. Looks delicious, Derek.
I say it does. I say, just like you can't have hot cocoa without marshmallows.
Yeah,
It's just not American.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe you're not American. I don't know, but it sounds good to me. Sounds good to me. And they got teas. You can check out the teas. Got blueberry cobbler flavored coffee. That just sounds delicious.
It does.
As well. Now, the thing that I love about Coffee Brand Coffee, Derek, and Amy has tested this out, and she gives it 5 books out of 5 because she likes reading. I said 5 books out of 5, Derek. But every time you order your coffee, it is roasted then. It's not sitting in a bag. True. It's not Folgers over there. Goodness,
it's been sitting on the shelf.
Sitting on the shelf. That teenager that just graduated high school, he's just there. He don't even care. Right. He's putting it on the shelf.
Living in the basement.
He's kicked that Folgers can all the way down that aisle. Okay, it busted open. That half of it's gone. Okay,
right.
You're not having to deal with any of that. With Coffee Brand Coffee, freshness is guaranteed. They've got delicious coffee. So elevate your coffee or cocoa or tea game today and experience it with Coffee Brand Coffee. Use code NerdCave at checkout or the link in the description below for 5% off your order today.
Woot woot.
We can skip this. We don't need to talk about Game Awards. Who wants to...
Man, I want to analyze every nominee from the get-go, especially the content creators that no one has heard.
Dude, I looked at the content creators. I'm like, I don't know any of these people. Like, Dr. Disrespect, knew him. Which I wished. The busiest lady in the biz,
Andrea Renee,
would have won that year. I love Doc. Now that I know him, I love Doc. But I wish Andrea would have won it. She's awesome. But Greg's won it before.
Yeah. Who is he? I never heard of him. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. But let's jump into the Game Awards Game of the Year nominee.
So I know you had a video on this on Tuesday, but I kind of wanted to add in my thoughts of it too. So the nominees, and it's pretty much across the board what we expected, for this year. Again, it's been one of the best years in gaming with an asterisk, but what was it going to be that 6th game? And so we've got Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Marvel Spider-Man 2, Resident Evil 4 Remake, Super Mario Brothers Wonder, and The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. So yeah, I didn't expect Marvel Spider-Man 2 to be, I'm just kidding, guys. I say Resident Evil 4 was, it was one of those that, like I said, what was going to be that 6th game to round out the nominations. And I think the best choice was Resident Evil 4 because it came out in like the early part of the year. And it just hit so well. It was that because a lot of people think, say that Resident Evil 4 is the best one out of the series. So the fact that they gave it the most love and attention to detail and gave it DLC, a couple months ago, just cements the fact that it deserves to be on the list. My thing is though, and I kind of feel like you'd be on the same page, like, even though we both love Spider-Man 2, I feel like it doesn't have a snowball's chance in Hades to win. Like, just because of the two heavy now, and you could say that about, Wonder and Alan Wake 2, but the two heavy hitters, I feel like that'll be the ones that everyone will be neck and neck for, will be Baldur's Gate 3 and Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, I feel like Baldur's Gate is going to run away with this because it is the Elden Ring of this year. Like,
you're right, and
Tears
it was
of the Kingdom. Sorry, Tears of the Kingdom.
Go ahead.
Tears of the Kingdom had that earlier on, but once Baldur's Gate 3 came out, nobody's talking about Tears of the Kingdom.
I know, and I get that. And it did come out of nowhere because people, we haven't had a Baldur's Gate game in a while. So the fact that 3 came out this year in the middle of summer when nothing else came out and dominated was a breath of fresh air, and it was well needed, and it kind of rejuvenated that fan base. But don't doubt the Nintendo people. You know what I mean? Like, don't doubt the Nintendo fans that You know, I'm not. I'm saying I agree with you. I think Baldur's Gate 3 will take this home, but Tears don't. I wouldn't expect it to run away. I think Tears of the Kingdom might be closer than you expect.
I don't know. I feel like yes, I understand where you're coming from. The popular vote's only like 10% of like
Hmm.
everything. So the, I don't know. I feel like Baldur's Gate 3 is like, because it is an indie developer, because it
Hmm.
came out of nowhere. And Tears of the Kingdom, yes, it's a great game. There's a lot of new
Hmm.
stuff added to it, but it is built off the back of Breath of the Wild. A lot of
Fair.
it has a lot of Breath of the Wild and everything. So that's why I think Baldur's Gate 3 is definitely going to be there. I think Alan Wake 2 is going to give it more run from the money because
I was just
of.
gonna say.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, the recency bias for some of it, but
Oh, sure.
just how unexpectedly awesome this game
Hmm.
has been and everything.
Right.
So that's kind of, I feel like it's people that haven't played it. I haven't played it, but I know what Alan Wake is capable of, and Control won it a few years ago.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
Now, and I was gonna bring that up too, because just to throw a little chaos in the mix, how crazy would it be if Alan Wake 2 just beat the brakes off of Baldur's Gate 3 and steals it from the spotlight? You know what I mean? Like you said, recency bias is a thing, and had it not been so late for nominees, Jedi's Fallen Order would have won it the year it came out, but the politics got involved with when the votes were cast and all that kind of stuff. But I it, Alan Wake 2 is my sleeper pick to come out of nowhere and win it. That being said, Marvel Spider-Man 2 deserve, every game on this list deserves to be on there. Like, I know, what was it, last year or the year before, when Stray was on there, we were like, well, what the heck is
Last
this?
year.
Like, what?
Yeah.
Right, yeah, like, why is this included? But I think this list, like, we can all agree that every game on this list deserves to be here. And of course, like, even the ones that don't, like Spider-Man 2 will win PlayStation Game of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
I will be curious to see if Mario Wonder or Tears of the Kingdom will win Nintendo Game of the Year.
So here's my thing, Derek. I disagree with you that every game deserves to be on here.
Okay, which is the one you don't like?
Resident Evil. I do not think that that game deserves to be on Game of the Year because it is a remake. I don't
But
think remakes. The why I'm saying this is a
mhm,
remake. You are literally taking a already proven game that people
mhm,
love, and you are redeveloping, you're doing all of these technical
mhm,
things, and you're making it look pretty and run on a new console and not feel like crap with the camera controls and all of that. I understand that. That is a hard thing to do. I am not a developer, but it is a remake. And I don't
right.
think remakes deserve to be on the Game of the Year thing. They've already had their time to be Game of the Year. Why isn't
Hey,
Final Fantasy 16 on this list?
I mean, that's a fair argument. That is a fair argument, and I think the only reason 4 is on there is because they've had remakes on there in the past, like not Resident Evil per se, but I think in
Resident Evil
years
2 is on
past.
there.
Right. Okay. Never mind. That's the one I'm thinking of then. But remakes have been on there in the past years, at Game Awards. So I feel like
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I don't know. I kind of agree with you. I do agree with you, but I feel like that's just I think I don't know. Just because Capcom and they wanted to throw them a bone because Capcom didn't have much else this year. But at the same time, I feel like now yes, Resident Evil 4 came out before Final Fantasy 16, but I feel like Final Fantasy 16 suffered from the Tears of the Kingdom thing because it was sandwiched in between Tears of the Kingdom and Diablo 4, and then Baldur's Gate 3 came out, and it was just like the RPGs ate each other up.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to even throw this out there. Why isn't Starfield on this list?
Eh, not.
I know, like, technically, like, it was
Hmm.
received really well, but a lot of people have played it, but like Starfield's not on this list. Diablo 4 is not on this list, and I think Diablo 4 was a bigger splash than Resident Evil. Just saying.
I mean, no, that's I'll definitely agree with you on that one. But in terms of Starfield, like, yes, I get what you're saying. Like, it did dominate the week it came, the few weeks it was out. But then,
Yeah.
like Tears of the Kingdom, once Baldur's Gate 3 came out, no one talked about it. So like after Starfield, like, yeah, granted, nothing huge came out after Starfield, but after a couple weeks, no one kind of talked about it. And I think they factor in critical reception too, and like
Yeah.
how much it dominates the gaming conversation. And after about 3 weeks, Starfield was mum. So I think because of that, they chose not to include it.
Yeah, I don't know. The whole remake thing, and yes, I know it's been on other ones. They should just make a remake category.
Well, they do though. They do have their like best remaster category.
No, they don't. Not on this one. I went through.
Oh, they didn't do it.
No,
They've done it in years past. I wonder if they didn't have enough to fill out the nomination list.
Well, you've got Metroid Prime remastered, RE4 remastered, and Dead Space remaster or remake.
Yeah.
So they and I know there's probably other ones out there, but like Diablo 4 has a 91. Marvel's Metacritic. Marvel's Spider-Man has a 90. Like, of course, I like Marvel Spider-Man more than I like Diablo 4. But
for sure.
Like you're looking at it and it's like, okay, Final Fantasy 16 has an 87. You know, that's to Nate's point. What about Hogwarts Legacy? Hogwarts Legacy is sitting at an 85. So Tears of the Kingdom and Baldur's Gate have both of those have 96s.
Right.
RE4 has a 93. Alan Wake has a 93.
Yeah.
Super Mario Wonder is 92 Metacritic. Yeah. So like everything is 90 or above for any of these. So I don't know. I don't like the whole remake thing. That's my only thing. You're like, we agree on this, and I'm like, I gotta say something. I don't agree on it, but it's there. I don't think it's winning. But it is there. So, but yeah, maybe Alan Wake 2 will just walk away with it.
That would be joyous because then I would feel good about it because, you know, good on them for winning 2 Game of the Years out of the last couple ones, you know, with Control.
Yeah, and we finally got Alan Wake 2. It deserves some flowers, you know what I mean?
For sure.
But I think Baldur's Gate is walking away with this bad boy.
I agree.
Let's talk about some new job listings.
This continue.
Side note, since we're about to talk about DC projects, I got an email today from WB about pre-ordering
Suicide
Squad. And I'm like,
well, because they're starting to do that Insiders dev series because they're trying to ramp up hype again for the game because I think they're actually sticking with their February release.
Yeah.
So
it's
a no for me, dog.
Yeah. Anyway, new jobs listing suggests Wonder Woman could be a live service game, and we talked about this last week or the week before, where WB is going heavy on live services.
Oh yeah! Oh my gosh. Monolith Productions has posted a series of new job listings for Wonder Woman that indicate the game will be a live service experience. The position calls for lead software's engineer gameplay and states clearly that the job is for the Wonder Woman game. Join the Wonder Woman team and help bring an iconic DC superhero to life. The nice to have section of the application mentions live service specifically, stating an applicant may have an edge if they possess experience helping maintain a live software product or game. This isn't an outright confirmation that Wonder Woman will be a live service affair, but it seems to point that way and does align with previous comments from Warner Brothers Discovery's David Zaslav, who revealed the company's goal of injecting the live service content into its biggest franchises. Quote, our focus is on transforming our biggest franchises from largely console and PC based with 3 or 4 year release schedules to include more ways on gameplay, more always on gameplay through live services, multi-platform, and free-to-play extensions, with the goal to have more players spending more time on more platforms. And the reason I chuckled at the beginning because I watched the Kind of Funny thing this morning that talked about it yesterday, and man, they were fuming about this, and they have a right to be, because like we say, like it seems like live service and layoffs, the two L's, that the industry just keeps taking, seem to be the hot commodities lately. And not everything needs to be a live service. And if this was a Justice League game, because I know they're trying to make Suicide Squad a live service, or are making it. And again, I don't care for it, but it makes sense because it's a team-based game. If you did a Justice League game, it would make more sense. Again, I still would not want it, but it would make sense because you're doing a team. You're doing a single superhero-based game. Why are you including live service aspects into it? I'm about ready to rip out what's left of my hair.
Yeah, because, okay, let's look at this. Marvel's Avengers.
Right.
Comes out live
Did not
service.
work.
Did not work. And it had a team of superheroes behind it. They were not able to keep up with content.
Correct.
And it died pretty quickly. The successful IP franchises that WB has put out, and also others have put out, so like you look at Hogwarts Legacy, if that game would have been live service, that game would have bombed. That game would have bombed. But it had everything that you needed to experience. Storytelling, it had the castle that you get to fully explore, all of that. All in one game, and people ate it up. It was their best-selling game in a very, very long time.
Correct.
The Arkham series, everything is there. Storytelling, combat, world building, all of those things. And it sold like gangbusters. Let's look at Spider-Man over at Insomniac. Yeah. That game could have easily been live service if they really wanted to. Oh, you got to pay 5 coins to go over to Brooklyn. Oh, you got to pay 5 coins to, that would be super. I know I'm making that the stupidest way.
Yeah, pay for fast travel.
But how good that game is and how well it sold is because it was a fully packaged thing. Yes, Fortnite is free to play and they print money off. But Fortnite was around when there was nothing like that.
Correct.
And they paved a way. They took over what PUBG was doing and made it their own thing. And everybody wants to be Fortnite. Everybody wants to be printing that money off. You look at GTA. GTA 5 has been around for over 10 years.
Correct.
It has been on 3 console generations.
Correct.
It prints money because it has been around that long, and there's constantly new stuff, and it is not tied to a single character like Wonder Woman. It is your own character, your own crazy stuff. People are doing role playing and all of this on servers, and it's interesting. This will bomb. People will not play this, and if they do, it will be 2 weeks at max, and then people will max out Wonder Woman, their character, and there will be nothing to do except for keep grinding the same missions so you get the dailies, hoping that something will come along down the track. Their roadmap. Remember, everybody put out roadmaps like a few years ago for their stupid games. This is what's going to happen with this, and WB is blindly going at this, and they should be like, oh crap, PlayStation just delayed all of their live service games. Correct. We should probably, take a page out of that instead of just forcing it down people's throats. You're not going to make any money. People are like, the goodwill that you've garnered from Hogwarts Legacy, gone. They already see how bad Suicide Squad is going to be, and Rocksteady is one of the best developers that does it. But everybody saw it in that thing that they showed. It's like the gameplay looks stupid. It's just shooting big purple zits. That's all it is.
You're not wrong.
I wish I was wrong. I wish I was.
And again, with the live service, because people focus on so much of the cosmetic elements and the grinding and whatnot, the story suffers too for the gameplay. And Wonder Woman, because Monolith, say what you will about Shadow of War, but Monolith told really good stories in the Lord of the Rings universe. So when they decided to announce that they're doing Wonder Woman, I'm like, okay, cool, y'all can tell pretty good stories. So I'm excited to see what you're going to do in a DC role. And now with this live service project, I'm like, okay, cool. Now the story is going to suffer, and now I don't care.
Yeah. It's like, oh, Monolith, that means we might get the Nemesis system, which would be awesome.
Exactly.
But now it's like, no, it's going to suck.
Now you're going to have to pay for the Nemesis system. It's like, hey, you want different enemies? Pay $20.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Let's talk about some PlayStation news. PS5 detachable disc drive reportedly not locked to one console and can be swapped between machines easily.
If you happen to have two detachable disc drives handy, you're able to easily swap them between consoles thanks to the PS5 being able to quickly register the new drive. In other words, this means that the drive is not locked to one system after you register it, which is done by a one-time online handshake. The PS5 has to connect online to register the drive again if you reset the console, but once it has been done, it's possible to use it offline. However, the drive will refuse to accept media if you start up the new PS5 without connecting it online. You obviously won't be able to download digital games without an internet connection either. My question is like, this is a cool little feature.
Mm-hmm.
My question is like, why would you need two detachable disc drives? I mean, I guess for the handful of people that, have the throwaway money to buy multiple consoles, like if they like when they, they have one at their house and then when they go up to their vacation home, they have one up there. So in case like you have multiple disc drives with multiple consoles, you can just swap between them. But I'm just like, what's the point?
I think
like, it's cool.
I think they're more making like a statement, like you don't have to buy multiple. You could have one, and let's say, we worked at a company, Derek, and we review games, and we've got a PlayStation 5 in the office, on our desk, that needs red plates on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you catch my drift. I don't know if you saw Greg's teardown of Bless's PS5 and put red plates on it yesterday. Anyway,
oh no, I didn't.
Here nor there. So let's say we had a PS5 at work, and then we had a PS5 at home, and we, for some odd reason, had a disc game.
Mm-hmm.
You just take the disc drive off, go home, put the disc drive on your home PS5, and then bang, you can play whatever disc game. The thing that I think a lot of people are probably missing on this, it is a one-time handshake online. So once it registers, you're good to go, because that was one of the things we were worried about with this disc drive, is that it would have to be every time you tried to use it, it would have to verify with the internet. I am glad that it's a one-time thing. That is that makes me feel a little bit better about it. But, again, if you want a disc drive, get it with the disc drive. You're going to save $30
that way.
Yeah,
right.
You're going to save $30, and you probably could get the little plate thing that they're going, selling for the other version. So I don't know, but yeah. Sony files for a new patent for tech that allows you to replay a game from any point.
In theory, this would allow the user to pick a specific point they want in which to drop into a game's campaign, allowing them to make key changes in a playthrough or simply replay their favorite portion of the campaign without having to commit to starting over. The patent is titled, quote, constant streaming with gameplay launch, or content streaming with gameplay launch, and reveals via diagram that gameplay sequences would be split into subchapters featuring trigger points which would act as starting points for the player to choose from, dropping them into a specific sequence in mere seconds. Quote, such media content may have at least one or more trigger points, and each trigger point may be associated with a set of game data specific to a gameplay scene with an interactive title. The interactive title for gameplay may be launched under the user device based on the identified set of game data associated with the selected trigger point. It's worth remembering that companies included Sony's file patents all the time, and it doesn't necessarily mean we'll see anything come to fruition, at least not for a while. And again, we've seen since the PS5 has been around, every time they file a patent for for new technology and it gets out there, just give it about 6 months to a year, and we see it come to fruition. Like it said, this is actually a cool little thing to me because, especially if you went away and you wanted to recap where you last left off without having to it'd be cool to it'd be cool for that aspect. Or if you messed up, say you do certain challenges in Spider-Man 2, right? that you wanted to go for the gold and that you knew you could do better, you could I mean, yes, you could restart in the game anyway, but let's just say there wasn't that option. Like whenever you finished it, that's the score you get. You
Yeah.
could go back and retry that again.
Yeah, it reminds me of Mass Effect 1. There's a point in the story where you can save one or the other teammate.
Right.
And it's like, oh, I would really like to save Ashley, or I would really like to, I don't remember the dude's name. He died.
Right.
I think it's like Caden or something like that. I don't remember.
Right.
But anyway, that would have been an awesome feature instead of like having to have a specific save for that point. It would also be cool to, there's a point in Marvel's Spider-Man 2, a big moment, a very large moment. You know what moment I'm talking about? It would be super dope to be able to just jump right back into that section and experience it again. Because once you finish all of that, you don't get to experience it again. But it would be dope to just be able to go back and be like, man, that was a really cool moment. Really cool moment, because I didn't pop a save in that moment so I could go back to it. I was just enjoying it.
Right. You were living in the moment, as they say.
Living in the moment. So I like this. I think this is like one of Sony's better ideas.
Yeah.
You know, and we'll see if it comes to fruition. I know some things like the help videos like on PlayStation, or like we talked about it a while ago, where it was like, oh, you could call in or whatever and get advice,
like ask
and
for assistance, like get like a developer advice or like professional advice, something like that.
So we haven't seen that come to fruition, but the Project Q thing, we talked about a lot, and then it was actually real. So 9 times out of 10 it does come to fruition. So
correct.
This one I do hope actually happens, though.
Yeah, me too.
Let's move on to the PlayStation Quickies.
So starting off, PS Plus Extra and Premium November games are highlighted by Teardown, Superliminal, Dragon's Dogma Dark Horizon, and Dead Island Riptide Definitive Edition. Disney and Pixar's Up has been rated for the PSP and looks set for PS Plus Classics catalog. Honkai Star Rail has eclipsed 1 million players on PS5. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth dev took inspiration from The Witcher 3 and Horizon for the game's open world. Horizon Call of the Mountain named Best VR Game for the 2023 Golden Joystick Awards, while Baldur's Gate 3 takes home Game of the Year. Naughty Dog head of technology and 17-year studio vet Christian Geerling has left the company. HBO's The Last of Us Season 2 of filming officially kicks off on January 7th and will premiere in early 2025. Following that, The Last of Us Season 2 reportedly eyes Caitlin Dever for the Abby role. Marvel Spider-Man 2 carries PlayStation to 13 total nominations at the Game Awards. Following that, Spider-Man 2 is the best-selling game for October. Who would have saw that coming? Rumor Marvel's Wolverine set for 2024 launch, and Sony Ben's new IP is targeting 2025. And lastly, God of War Ragnarok's score has been nominated for Best Video Game Soundtrack at the 2024 Grammys.
I'm proud of Bear McCreary. Like,
me too.
My boy. Congratulations. How is it getting nominated for the 2024 Grammys
when it came out in 2022?
Yeah, that makes no sense to me at all.
It's like, did we live in a time warp where the 2023 Grammys didn't happen?
Yeah. But congratulations. Go wipe the floor with their bodies, Bear McCreary. Did you know? I was on Bo Knows Gaming. We were discussing things, nominations for the Game Awards and everything. Spider-Man is the only PlayStation game made by first-party game that got put out this year.
Yep. No, I think I brought that up a couple weeks ago, but yeah, it is, it is weird because, compared to getting God of Horizon Forbidden West at the beginning of 2022 and Ragnarok at the end of 2022, you would have thought. But then again, with like it taking so long to talk more about Spider-Man 2 and seeing the reveal, you pretty much had to figure this was going to be its only release from Sony. Now, what that means for next year, no telling. Like, hopefully it comes out and like we have, and when I say big year, I don't mean like it's going to have like 4 games come out. You know, like we're not going to have the year of 2018 where we had God of War and then Spider-Man and then I forget what else came out that year. But I feel like next year will be bigger for PlayStation. I think especially now that they're having to pivot from their live service things, live service plan, that we'll see other studios come up. Like, and I think they were using the live service as sort of a grounds to like help with the development cycle of other big story games, but just give me Ghost 2. Like, where is it? Like, just it's time, guys. Sucker
Yeah.
Punch. What you doing, dog?
Yeah, like I really, really want Ghost 2
Blue
for
Point,
sure.
where's your game?
Yeah. Yeah. For 2018,
Mm-hmm.
PlayStation exclusives, we had
Mm-hmm.
Shadow of the Colossus,
Oh, there,
Concrete
yep.
Genie,
Mm-hmm.
God of War,
Mm-hmm.
Yakuza 6, Song of Life. I'm trying to just pick Detroit Become Human.
Oh, yep, that was the other one.
Yep. Yep. It's good stuff.
Yep.
Legacy Hogwarts Legacy was not on Hogwarts Legacy was this year, so it wasn't on
Yeah.
last year's awards or anything. It was not picked up as any category for whatever reason.
Yeah, that's the most funny because now that you mention that, it's like, yeah, I don't remember it being in any nominations, which is weird.
Yeah, it and Starfield. Starfield got one nomination. I want to
Best
say
Xbox game.
I don't even think they're doing like best Xbox games, but
Interesting.
yeah, they're not doing. I know they had one nomination. I remember seeing their thing on there. But Derek, I'm going to segue into our Patreon quick hits, and then I will look up what Starfield got picked up.
Got you.
But guys,
so
hold on. We gotta pitch Patreon real quick, Derek. Derek's so fast on the Patreon quick hits, you gotta slow him down a little bit. He's like the fast travel system in Spider-Man 2. You pick a location, bang, you're there. You're like, ah!
right.
You're like, oh my God.
Split.
Your mind almost can't interpret it. You know, gone are the days of the slow elevators of Mass Effect.
True. Yeah. the elongated loading screens of video games.
Dude, I was at a hotel last week for a conference, and I was like, no one would take an elevator if it was that slow. I was like, if those elevators were as slow as Mass Effect, no one would take an elevator.
And it's the future. You would think they'd be more lightning fast.
Yeah, exactly. Guys, the Patreon quick hits are, of course, brought to you by our wonderful patrons. Become part of the ship, part of the exclusive crew by going to patreon.com/nerdcave. Pick a tier that best fits you. You can also join over there for free. And all of that helps us keep the lights and the mics on each and every week and month. Thank y'all so much for everyone that has went over there and supported us through thick and thin, through all the stuff that we've been able to do here. So thank you very, very much. And now it is time for the Patreon quick hits.
First up, Take-Two boss confirms the publisher is being, quote, very selective about potential new movie adaptations. Take-Two says video game prices are, quote, very, very low for what they offer. Warframe and Wayfinder publisher Digital Extremes lays off staff, with Wayfinder to stop receiving support. Jeff Grubbs says Mass Effect 5 may not see the light of day until 2029. Sledgehammer studio head is, quote, incredibly proud of Modern Warfare 3. However, Modern Warfare 3 maps are already being pulled by Activision due to bad spawns. Modern Warfare 3 looks very likely to be the series' lowest rated entry, but as I alluded to earlier, it won't matter. It'll probably still sell well. More layoffs at Unity are, quote, likely coming according to its latest earnings report. Braid Anniversary Edition turns the clock back on April 30th. Arcane Season 2 to debut next November, Turok 3 Shadow of Oblivion remaster suffers last-minute delay to November 30th. Larian Studios CEO keen for more CRPGs to emerge following Baldur's Gate 3 success. Larian keen to, quote, push many boundaries with its next major title. Baldur's Gate 3 Xbox release, quote, on track for December as Larian teases the Game Awards reveal. Konami job listings reveal, quote, large-scale Silent Hill projects are in the pipeline. The Boys actor Anthony Starr says he isn't voicing Homelander in Mortal Kombat 1. Hades is headed to Apple devices via Netflix in 2024. Dragon Age Dreadwolf release listed for 2024 on dev LinkedIn profile. Amazon Games lays off 180 employees. Tekken 8 Final Launch Fighter reveals newcomer Reina. Ark Survival Ascended Series X and S release date delayed last minute. Pokemon and Tiffany and Company team up to release jewelry costing up to $29,000. Remedy's free-to-play project codenamed Vanguard will pivot to a premium multiplayer co-op game codenamed Kestrel. Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth is, quote, longer than anything we've made so far, says studio head. Rocksteady announces Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League Insider Series, and the first episode is a deep dive on gameplay and story. Jeff Keighley and the Game Awards are in Fortnite, and players can vote for the best Fortnite Island of the year. Lies of P update includes free cosmetics, fixes bugs, and makes the game's combat easier. Microsoft creates official edible controller in Willy Wonka Series X. Sega's upcoming Super game will put a big focus on user-generated content. Sega is looking at more acquisitions and isn't interested in selling up. Sega says Persona and Yakuza could be adapted into movies. Assassin's Creed Mirage will get New Game Plus and Permadeath mode in free December update. And lastly, Embracer Group reveals 900 job losses were made during its second quarter.
So, Derek, I read Murdoch's comment wrong. Starfield is on the best RPG list. So that's where that's at. So at least they did get nominated on that. Right. Murdoch was asking why is Amazon backing out of games? Didn't they just release that MMORPG? So the MMO that you're talking about is New World. That came out. Let's see, when did that come out?
2021, I thought.
Yeah, 2021. It has been kind of up and down on
player base
and everything. They also launched the Luna console. Do you remember that Amazon Luna? It was like,
I do.
Kind of like
it came and went.
It came and went. They've put a ton into a lot of things. Apparently they're going to work on the new Tomb Raider game as well. But apparently they've cut, like, Amazon across the board has cut like thousands of jobs throughout the year. I'm just looking at The Verge and everything. But what this is really meaning is, like, they're not seeing return on investment on this the same way that they're kind of like cracking down on Twitch as well. They're wanting to make more money there. Right. So it stinks. Another 180 people lost their jobs.
Yeah.
And it's like, not everybody can go work for Nintendo. Not everybody can go work for PlayStation or Xbox. It's hard to get to a place where you feel like, yeah, I can, I feel comfortable. I feel safe here. I don't feel like I'm going to get laid off. This is really difficult. And you would figure Amazon, with as much money as they make, that people would be safe, but they're not. Because, again, they're not making back their money. The streaming thing, they should have never went for that streaming thing. They saw Google and like, oh, Google's going to make tons of money. We can do that too. No.
Psych.
No, you're not. You've got a stupid, ugly-looking controller. No one's going to do that. And streaming is really, really difficult. Ask Xbox. Okay, remote play, totally different thing. That is not. It is quote unquote streaming, but it's totally different than what Xbox is doing. Right. Go ask Stadia how that went for them. And I just hate it. I hate seeing people lose their jobs. And the edible controller doesn't make any sense. Like, it's
like,
is it a functioning controller?
Or is it just a controller that you can eat?
Is it just shaped like
Yeah,
a
because I
controller?
mean, if it's a functioning controller, all those wires and circuit
Okay,
boards will get in the
doesn't
way.
actually work.
Cool.
Is a replica made entirely of chocolate for those worried about how they control a giant chocolate bar themed console. Xbox is actually packing a controller that you can play. Okay, so the console looks like a chocolate bar, but it actually works. It's not real chocolate, but the
Yeah.
controller is
Because I was about to say that thing doesn't heat up, but man, it'll melt that chocolate in a heartbeat.
weird. Weird times, man. We're living in
I
a
know.
weird, like, it's heydays of like awesome games, but we got some weird marketing and lots of layoffs. And
Right.
I don't like it. And I hate live services. So I liked your two L's. They're taking lots of L's in the industry
Yeah.
right now. So
Yup.
I don't know. Well, guys, there you go. There is the episode for tonight. This has been Zach.
And Adrian Gabriel Lefevre.
God bless the week. Bye. Boom. All right, guys. Hope y'all enjoyed that. Hope y'all been enjoying the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Hope y'all been enjoying all of it. Now,
All of
Derek.
it.
Now, Derek. I got a question for you.
Uh-oh.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
If you could have a whole week off just to play any game out of this year that you have not played yet, what game would you play?
All right, in a vacuum, Alan Wake 2. But, you know, I would also say Hogwarts Legacy.
Okay. Why Hogwarts?
So, just because of the mystique around it, and like I haven't done any like I've been wanting to go back into the Harry Potter world for a while now. Like I know, controversy aside, and like with the way Fantastic Beasts fell off, that aside, it's just like not that I had the same itch of Star Wars, because outside of watching the original trilogy and the prequels, like I wanted to get into more Star Wars stuff, and then the Mandalorian happened, and then all these other shows and like the games and like the extended lore like got me into Star Wars, and now like I'm just as giddy as the next Star Wars fan. Like watching Ahsoka was just like, oh my god. But I kind of want to dive into the world of Harry Potter just to see stuff that's not revolved around Harry. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I enjoyed Legacy. I do want to finish it. I feel like I'm close-ish, probably another 6 to 10 hours on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Alan Wake is probably my number one that I want to play. I want to hit a bunch of indies before the year is up, because I don't feel like I've touched enough indies this year. Like the Zach games, you know what I mean? Like Vinba or Chia or whatever you say that one.
Chia,
that one. Sea of Stars, I want to check that one out as well. I'm not a huge Sprite game kind of guy, but I do at least want to play it. I want to jump back into Starfield. I want to play more of it. Trying to think of what else. I wanted to test out Baldur's Gate just because like I'm a huge, like, if I can get as close to Dragon Age as possible, because I love Dragon Age.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
I know it's not going to be 1-to-1 because it's more D&D, which I enjoyed doing D&D.
Right.
But yeah, I definitely would like to try that out before the year is up.
You buy stock in that Dragon Age is coming out next year, by the way?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I doubt. No. Just like Wolverine, like I would more so believe Wolverine is coming out next year than Dragon Age. But even then, like Wolverine, if Wolverine comes out, it'll be a fall game again. It'll come out around the same time like Spider-Man 2 did.
Yeah. Like I know we said like Spider-Man's the only thing that they released this year, like full game, but they also did put out Call of the Mountain, and they put out Burning Shores DLC this year. But that doesn't necessarily count as like full games.
Right.
But yeah, I feel like Wolverine would be the later end. Maybe we'll get God of War DLC earlier in the year. I'd be fine with that.
That is rumored.
I'd be fine with that. And then like a game. I feel like the next few years where it's going to be kind of thinner on the PlayStation stuff.
Me too. Like I feel like they got out what they needed to. But then again, there's that we talked about it a couple weeks ago. Like Sony may be more keen on putting out smaller, like Lost Legacy, Miles Morales
Mm-hmm.
5 games than to bridge the gap. So we could have a stealth small game launch next year.
Yeah, I would love that. Or we actually get to see Blue Point, what they've been up to
Right.
for a
We're
while.
again, Sucker Punch. What you doing, dog? Just get off the pot already.
There are a lot of possibilities for sure.
Yeah.
Murdoch says Skull and Bones better get a premiere at the VGA. They're not. Jeff Keighley is not going to give any stage time to that game.
No.
Because
the Singapore government will do its own independent stream of Skull and Bones. Let's be fair. Skull and Bones will get its hype beginning of the year. And then, like, if they launch at the end of let's say they launch at the end of March, it'll launch and then that'll be it.
Yeah. Like, the reason I say that is Jeff Keighley is like super protective of the Game Awards.
Oh yeah, like he doesn't want to put out something he doesn't believe in.
Yeah, that's why I don't think Skull and Bones will be on there, because their track record has been so spotty.
And yes, now if this was like the world premiere, like this is the first time we were seeing Skull and Bones, yes, that would be possible. Yeah. But because we know it's a thing, it's been it's been delayed year after year, he ain't gonna do it.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. Okay, so when did Psychonauts 2 come out?
Last year.
Okay. Dude, what if we got another Brutal Legend?
Oh. It's possible. Anything is possible. But I don't know.
It's not.
And that raises a good question. What does Xbox have planned for next year? You know what I mean? Because, they're starting to, it started with Hi-Fi Rush. They took a half step back with Redfall, but then they took, a step and a half forward with Starfield. And then Forza Motorsport did well. It's like, what does Xbox have planned for next year? Because the dominoes are starting to fall. Yeah. And it's like, all right, they're going to start. This is where they start to give PlayStation a little bit of a nudge, being like, we catching up to you.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if anything is like actually
confirmed. You see, Murdoch? And when it releases, Zach is going to grind a 5-hour stream with me.
I told him, I was like, if it comes out, I will play it with him. I will grind for a longer stream with him if it comes out. That's how bullish I am about this.
Yeah.
Now, we do have Senua's whatever it's called.
Oh yeah,
Saga. I feel like we will get that. I'm looking at 33 Immortals, which is not a
first party.
I'm trying to see what other. Hollow Knight is not a first party, I don't think. Either. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024.
Woo.
Yeah, I think Senua is the only one. Nice. Yeah. Arc 2.
There's going to be other stuff that we forget about. Like, I know State of Decay 3, but I doubt it's next year. Like, we haven't seen it in years. Even though you're going to grind a 5-hour stream, I could see you hating it the entire time too. Like, man, this is terrible.
Yeah. Oh, Fable.
He said you had to play. He said you didn't have to not bash it.
Exactly. I could hate every...
Fable won't see the light of the day for several years.
One that I really hope that we get, I don't know if it is a first party. I don't think it is. The Clockwork Revolution game that's like, it looked like BioShock.
Yeah.
I really want that. Dude, if we get The Wolf Among Us 2 next year, oh man, I'd be so happy.
Oh!
I'll be so happy.
It'll be so good.
So happy. I'm trying to see Flight Simulator. Don't care anything about that. Yeah. So yeah, Wolf Among Us 2 is going to be dope. That's the hope. That's the hope, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like Xbox has definitely got to start putting stuff out. Like it is.
Yeah.
Maybe they just of course, Obsidian will put like 7 games out next year because that's how they work.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's time. I think Avowed is 2024.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that.
What if, Derek?
Mm-hmm.
This is pie in the sky. God smiles upon us, and we're not going to get raptured like next year. Gear 6.
Bruh, I thought about that.
Gets
like,
announced at the Game Awards.
Bro, oh my god.
Because that would be huge. That would be huge news because no one has talked about it.
Correct. And, mum's the word because, Coalition has just been helping everyone else make their games. What if we got the 2 Gs again? Like, we got Ghost 2 and Gear 6. You know what I mean? Like, what kind of... Oh my gosh. That'd be Zach's year in last year was my year in gaming with Horizon and Ragnarok. Next year, if that happens, that'd be your year in gaming with Gear. I mean, I'd play both of them too, but
like, dude, I would be such a happy man. Ghost and Gears, like, oh. Now I will say, Ghost
unless
Gears,
they launched in the same month.
I'm fine with that. We know how Ghost is going to go for me. That's going to last me for about 2 years. Because
they're going to remaster, do DLC, remaster it, and by that time, but by the time they get all that out of the way, the next console iteration might be announced, and then all right, we're going to port it over to there.
Yeah, Ghost, Gears, and then God of War DLC.
Oh my god! GG's all around.
GG's all around, dude. That would be so dope to actually get all of those. Like, I would be so flippin' happy. Yeah, I would be stoked for that. I need to go back and play through the rest of Senua because I never finished it.
Yeah, me either.
Mark says I still haven't finished Ghost 1. I think it's on PS4 and not PC. Yeah, has it been ported yet?
No, not to my knowledge.
Murdoch, I thought you were playing on your PS4 for Ghost. You need to finish it, okay?
He's told it so he can buy the next driver for it.
Yeah, he's at the point where he has to buy drivers. And you finished Sinuous. Okay, nice. I had started playing it, but I didn't finish it. Streamed it. Okay, dope. Yeah, I think this time around with Ghost, I will stream it. I'm just going to turn off the blood, and then anytime I get to the pools, I will just switch scenes. It's like you can't miss the pools because like that's a health upgrade. But it's like, I'm not going to show them buns, hun. You know what I mean?
But never mind. Let me stop.
So I think this next time I'll play it on stream. But yeah, because it was just so good. It was Ragnarok I would have loved to stream. I know we've talked about this many times.
Oh yeah,
but Brock,
yeah, I know.
The one time
that video.
The one time it like pops up, I'm like, oh, we're fine. And it was like, nope. Shut up, Brock. Shut up.
Menards.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh God. Oh gosh. So, all right, guys. Well, we hope that you enjoyed the stream. We're going to end it right here, but we will be back next Tuesday. I'll be playing some games and hanging out with everybody. We will not have NerdCave News next Thursday. Yep. The following Tuesday after that, the last Tuesday of the month, we will be doing community game night. So put that on your calendar. We'll be putting out stuff and all of that, but I did want to confirm that here, and we'll be talking about more and more. But next Thursday is Thanksgiving, so we are going to be in a food coma.
Yep, for sure. And also Derek has to get up at 7 a.m. or to be at work at 7 a.m. the next day. So yeah.
He's got to fight a grandma that morning.
I know. But you know what? Black Fridays at Publix are a breeze compared to Black Fridays at GameStop because you don't have people fighting over consoles. You just have people coming in and getting their groceries, and that's it.
Yep, 100%. Well, guys, we love y'all. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the night, and we will see you all on Tuesday. Bye.